Hi, my name is Ardell DeBerg. I'm the president and CEO of the TLC Companies. At TLC, our most coveted asset are our employees, especially our truck drivers. Because more drivers get hurt on flatbeds, we've decided to take flatbed safety to another level by creating this program. We hope you enjoyed this DVD, but more importantly, use the information to prevent making serious mistakes that could cause injury, or even worse, cost you your life. Your success is important to us at TLC as well as it is the trucking industry, but more so to your families. Thanks for watching.
Hi, my name is Michael Melnick and I'm an occupational therapist and injury prevention specialist. I'm here today to talk with you about flatbed safety. In your industry, there are a lot of injuries related to the neck, back, shoulders, and knees. These are often the result of how tarps are handled, securing loads, jumping off of trailers, and sometimes something as simple as getting in and out of the cab. What I'd like to do is address some of these issues and see if we can come up with some ways to help you stay safe on the job. Let's get started. You know what? I have a confession to make. While I am an occupational therapist and I know a lot about preventing injuries, there is one thing I don't have a lot of experience doing, and that's driving a flatbed truck. That's why I've enlisted the help of a couple of experienced drivers to help me out. Seems they already have an issue. I think I get their point. Looks like I've got a lot to learn. Obviously, one of the easiest ways to keep yourself safe is by making good choices about what you wear and having protective gear readily available. Before we get into the specifics of flatbeds, let's start with something I'm a bit more familiar with: the human body. What I'm hoping to accomplish is to take what I understand about how the body works, put it together with what you know about driving flatbeds, and see what we can accomplish. The first thing to keep in mind is that our bodies just are not very good at telling us when we are wearing out. They are great at telling us when we're worn out. What I mean is, you may jump off the bed of a truck thousands of times with no pain. Then one day, you're doing the same thing you've done for years and wham, your knees go out. What you need to recognize is that in many instances, you don't feel anything while damage is accumulating. And then finally, when your knees have taken just about as much abuse as they can, they go out on you. Let me give you another example. You don't feel a cavity in your teeth developing. You don't say to yourself, well, my teeth don't hurt, guess I don't need to brush them. You know what is going on even though you don't feel it, so you brush your teeth. Many of the injuries flatbed drivers experience are the result of a wearing out process that you don't feel happening until it's too late. And some of the techniques I'm going to discuss can help slow this wearing out process down. The second thing to remember is that our bodies are designed to work best in what are called power positions. They're the positions where the muscles can generate the most force with the least effort and least risk of injury. The whole body works this way. Look at the legs. If a basketball player wants to jump as high as he can, he probably isn't going to go into a full squat or stand up completely straight. There's no power in these positions. He'll go somewhere between all the way down and all the way up to find the power position. This is the same position for a baseball player going for a ball, a football player getting ready to hit somebody, or a wrestler getting ready to make a move. Your back has a power position. It's the three natural curves. When you bend your back over like this, what you are doing to your back is the same thing as squatting to jump. In these positions, there's limited power and the risk of injury is greater. Watch a football player getting ready to hit somebody. They don't stand there like this. Everything moves into the power position: the shoulders, back, hips, legs. I'm not suggesting this be the position you work in all day, but when you need to handle tarps, secure loads, or do anything during the day that requires strength and rapid movement, the closer you are to the power position, the better. Finally, I want to introduce you to 3 simple material handling strategies that can reduce your risk of injury. The first one is called keep it close and keep the curves. All it means is that when you're performing any material handling task, the closer the load is to your center of gravity, the lighter it is on your back and shoulders. And not only that, but when a load gets farther away, your back loses its natural curves and now your back and shoulders are out of the power position. The closer the load gets, the more powerful you become. Build a bridge is the second strategy. When you bend over like this, you're like a one-sided bridge. All the demands are being placed on one end, in this case it's your low back. Simply by getting one hand out for support or putting one leg slightly forward, you are connecting the bridge on the other side and taking the weight off of your back. The last strategy is called feet first. All it means is that when you are handling materials, start your movements with your feet first, not your upper body. Watch athletes, baseball players, football players, tennis players, all of them use this technique. All their movements start down here. By moving your feet first, you reduce the risk of reaching and twisting, both of which are hard on your body. All right, now that you know a bit more about your body, let's start applying this to driving a flatbed. Oh, right. I think I need some help with this. I'm gonna go find a couple of drivers to give me a quick orientation to the challenges of driving a flatbed truck. Well, there certainly is no shortage of opportunities to get hurt. Now that I have a better idea of what's involved, let's walk through this stuff again and make sure I've remembered everything they showed me. Let's start with strapping the load. I'm not gonna lie to you. Working around this stuff makes me nervous. You're good at it, but you really need to remain alert because a lack of attention can have very serious consequences. I mean, I don't even like blowing up balloons because I think it's gonna snap in my face. When you get these on tight, it's like simultaneously blowing up 100 balloons at the same time. I don't want them popping in my face or near any body part if I can help it. Just keep these points in mind when you're strapping a load. First, always inspect the items during the pre-trip. Get them replaced if worn or damaged in any way. Then, when positioning or tightening the straps, always use good body mechanics, especially when you're using a cheater bar. Be sure that the bar is inserted in an upward angle and do not position your body over the bar. All it takes is one slip, and I'm telling you, your teeth don't stand a chance against these things. Make sure that you push, don't pull the bar, and don't use your body weight to tighten down the straps. If you need more leverage, don't use your body, just use an extension. From time to time, you're gonna find yourself carrying some interesting loads. And if you're working off a low boy, odds are you're gonna be securing it with chains and hooks. There's a few things you wanna keep in mind when you're working with these from a safety standpoint. The first one is make sure you inspect the chains and the hooks just to make sure there's no cracks or loose links. Second of all, when you're working with a chain binder, they sometimes can slip, so you want to make sure you keep your body far enough away to keep from getting struck by that. And then the third thing is when you're working with chains and hooks is just remember to have your safety glasses and gloves just in case you get a pinch point or something does go flying. From what I've seen, handling tarps is like being in a wrestling match with a grizzly bear. Add in the fact that you may be in a hurry or it's a windy and rainy day, things can get even more challenging. What's the best way to handle a tarp? there really isn't one perfect way since every situation can be different, but there are some things that can make it a bit easier. First, don't be bashful about asking for help. It will make it faster and safer. Also, have a forklift operator move the tarp to a designated area on the surface of the flatbed. You also might want to encourage your company to use lightweight two-piece tarps. And finally, keep in mind the strategies I mentioned earlier. When I am moving the tarp, I want to make sure I am keeping it close and keeping the curves as much as possible. This protects my back and my shoulders. I don't want to get in a position where my back and shoulders are at risk. Another strategy to keep in mind is feet first. That means starting the movement down here rather than up here. When we watch people doing a lot of material handling, particularly when they're positioning the tarp, what we'll see happening is a lot of upper body reaching and twisting. That's harder on the shoulders, it's harder on the back. If you keep in mind the idea of feet first, once you've grabbed the tarp, just make sure you start your movement down here. What that does is make sure that your body is going in the same direction as your back and shoulders, makes it significantly less demanding on your body. Once you've got the load tarped, you're going to need to bungee the load. So what you want to do first is the same thing that you did when you were putting on the straps, and that's to make sure that you do a thorough inspection of the bungee cords you're going to be using. These things will snap. This one I found definitely got some cracks in it. It's not going to be one I'm going to want to use. So make sure that you do a good inspection, use good equipment, and also, because these things can't snap, make sure you're wearing your safety glasses. Ideally, you don't walk the load. It's like an obstacle course. But if a situation arises where you have to, then reduce your risk by crawling the load, or at least diagramming the load so you know where everything is. Now, this is a relatively flat, straightforward load, but what happens to my risk when I am faced with a very different environment? Make safe choices. I know we all get in a hurry. The problem is, when we're in a hurry, we often make bad choices. For example, ouch. I don't know about your knees, but if I do that too many times, these guys are going to start complaining. The other point is, it took me a second to jump down. If I keep in mind the idea of the 3 points of contact, it almost takes the same exact amount of time with the risk being gone. Remember, when you're getting on or off any piece of equipment, 3 points of contact takes the same amount of time and dramatically reduces the demands on your body. Believe it or not, simply getting in and out of your vehicle in demanding ways can put you at risk. I mean, a typical driver in a 30-year career is going to get in and out of the cab about 60,000 times. There's a lot of opportunities for a slip or a trip. There's just a few things to keep in mind when you're getting in and out of your vehicle. First, this is a beautiful day. Things change when you have snow, ice, or wet conditions, so just stay alert. Also, double check the condition of the steps and the handles just to make sure they're secure. And finally, always use 3 points of contact when you're getting in and out of your vehicle. This means at all times you need to have contact with either 2 feet in one hand or 1 foot in 2 hands. The reason is you want to be supported in multiple places just in case the unexpected happens. And remember, it's 3 points of contact not only when you're getting in, but when you're getting out as well. One of the most important things you're going to do before you take off on your trip is the pre-inspection. You must never take off on a trip, even if only for a few miles, unless the load is properly secured according to the DOT securement guidelines and you are comfortable with the load. Check all straps, chains, and bungees. Check the surrounding area for hazards like scrap, potholes, and uneven surfaces. And remember, one of the biggest keys to a safe trip is to be prepared for the trip. Most importantly, Are you alert? Are you free of drugs and alcohol? And are you ready to drive? One of the biggest risk factors in the trucking business is fatigue. Not just fatigue from a lack of sleep, but also the muscle fatigue that's related to staying in one position for extended periods of time, and the muscle fatigue that develops when you're preparing a load. Your body is designed for movement and change of position. If you are driving for long periods of time, take advantage of any opportunity to change positions. I mean, think about this. What direction do we go as we age? Head forward, shoulders forward, back flattened out. What direction do we go as we work? It's the same thing. Then we wake up one morning when we're 90 and we're going, when the heck did this happen? The truth is, it was happening every day. Our bodies adapt to the positions we maintain, so you want to move and change positions frequently. Also, if you haven't been moving around for a while, it helps a great deal to do some simple warm-up movements of the body parts you'll be using. It'll loosen up your muscles, increase your strength, and reduce your risk of injury. So, there you have it. No magic answers, no silver bullets, just safe choices. There are more injuries to flatbed drivers from slips, trips, and falls than any other type of trailer being pulled. Preventing injuries is not only critical to your success as a driver, but it's also critical in ensuring your continued ability to enjoy your family, your friends, and your recreational activities. We hope this video helps. Thanks for watching.